Picture a fire so intense, so ferocious, that it threatens to engulf everything in its path. The flames leap and twist, consuming trees, homes, and anything else that stands in their way. The heat is so intense that it can be felt from miles away, and the smoke fills the sky, turning day into night. It's a scene of utter devastation, a force of nature that seems unstoppable. Now imagine trying to extinguish this fire, not with ordinary water, but with the vast and relentless ocean itself. The ocean, with its powerful waves and immense volume, seems like an unlikely ally in the battle against fire, yet its sheer magnitude and the force of its waves hold a promise of hope. The idea of using the ocean to combat such a fierce blaze is both daunting and fascinating. This is the incredible true story of how the people of Iceland, faced with a raging volcano, dared to fight fire with water. When the earth itself seemed to be tearing apart, spewing molten lava and ash, the people of Iceland turned to the ocean for salvation. They used seawater to cool the advancing lava, creating barriers and channels to redirect its flow. It was a desperate and daring move, born out of necessity and sheer willpower. It may sound like something out of a mythical tale, a testament to human audacity in the face of nature's fury. The story of how ordinary people, armed with nothing but hoses and pumps, stood against the might of a volcanic eruption is nothing short of legendary. It's a story that has been passed down through generations, a symbol of resilience and ingenuity. But in 1973, on the small island of Heimaey, this extraordinary battle unfolded for real. The eruption threatened to destroy the entire island, but the residents refused to give up. They worked tirelessly, day and night, to save their homes and their way of life. The sight of them battling the lava with seawater is etched into the annals of history, and the world watched in awe. News of their efforts spread far and wide, capturing the imagination of people around the globe. It was a story of hope and determination, a reminder that even in the face of overwhelming odds, the human spirit can prevail. The Heimaey eruption of 1973 remains a powerful example of how ingenuity and courage can turn the tide against nature's most formidable forces. Heimaey, a picturesque island south of Iceland, was known for its peaceful charm and thriving fishing industry. But on January 23, 1973, that tranquility was shattered. The earth rumbled, cracked open, and from its depths, a fiery monster awoke. The volcano Eldfell, dormant for over 5,000 years, erupted in a display of awesome and terrifying power. Fountains of molten lava shot hundreds of feet into the air, painting the night sky with an eerie orange glow. The ground trembled, and a river of fire flowed towards the town. Panic gripped the island's 5,300 inhabitants. They watched in horror as the lava, relentless and unforgiving, consumed homes, businesses, and everything in its path. A mass evacuation was ordered, but the island's fate hung precariously in the balance. It was then that an audacious, some might even say crazy idea emerged. Could they use the one element as boundless as the volcano itself, the sea, to fight back against its fiery wrath? Could they use seawater to cool the lava, to solidify it, to stop its inexorable advance? With little time to lose and even less to hope for, the islanders faced an unprecedented natural disaster. The volcanic eruption had sent rivers of molten lava cascading down the mountainside, threatening to obliterate everything in its path. The situation was dire, and the clock was ticking. The community had to act swiftly to protect their homes, their livelihoods, and their very lives. In this moment of crisis, a dedicated team of engineers and volcanologists came together, pooling their expertise and resources. They devised a daring plan that seemed almost impossible but was their only hope. The islanders, driven by sheer determination and the will to survive, decided to put this audacious plan into action. Every second counted, and there was no room for error. They mobilized every pump they could find, from fishing boats, from factories, from construction sites, and even from private homes. The call for help was answered by everyone who had access to a pump, no matter how small or large. The community's unity and resilience shone through as they gathered equipment from every possible source. These pumps were transported to the shoreline, where they were strategically positioned to maximize their effectiveness. People worked tirelessly, setting up the pumps and connecting them to a vast network of pipes and hoses. The scene was a hive of activity, with everyone playing their part in this monumental effort. As the pumps roared to life, they began drawing seawater from the depths of the ocean. The powerful machines sent torrents of water hurtling through the network of pipes and hoses, creating a man-made wall of water. This was their last line of defense against the advancing lava. The target was clear: the leading edge of the lava flow, a relentless and menacing wall of molten rock that showed no signs of stopping. The lava's advance was slow but unstoppable, and it threatened to engulf everything in its path. The island's harbor, its economic lifeline, was directly in the path of destruction. If the lava reached the harbor, it would not only devastate the local economy, but also cut off vital supply lines and transportation routes. The stakes couldn't be higher, and the islanders knew that their very future depended on the success of this desperate plan. Section 5. The Transformation of Lava. The moment the seawater met the molten lava, a spectacle unlike any other unfolded. The fiery red and orange of the molten rock clashed with the deep blue of the ocean, creating a mesmerizing display of nature's raw power and beauty. The lava, having traveled miles from the heart of the volcano, finally met its match in the cool, relentless waves of the sea. The intense heat, reaching over 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit, instantly transformed the water into steam, creating a dense and impenetrable fog that enveloped the battlefield. This steam was not just any ordinary mist. It was a thick white cloud that obscured vision, and added an eerie atmosphere to the already dramatic scene. The boiling seawater hissed and bubbled, adding to the cacophony of sounds that filled the air. But the seawater was doing more than just creating a smokescreen. Firefighters and emergency responders used the seawater strategically, spraying it onto the advancing lava to slow its progress. This was a battle of elements, with water and fire clashing in a desperate struggle for dominance. The aerial views showed the scale of the operation, with streams of water meeting rivers of lava in a dramatic confrontation. As it came into contact with the lava, it rapidly cooled the outer layer, causing it to solidify. This process was almost instantaneous, with the glowing red lava turning to a dull gray as it hardened. The interaction between the steam and the solidifying lava created a dynamic and ever-changing landscape, with new formations appearing almost as quickly as the old ones were destroyed. This newly formed rock acted as a barrier, slowing the lava's advance and buying precious time for the island's defenders. These natural barriers were crucial in protecting the inhabited areas from the relentless flow of molten rock. The solidified lava created a rugged and uneven terrain, making it more difficult for the lava to continue its destructive path. This transformation of lava into rock was not just a geological process, it was a lifeline for the people living in the shadow of the volcano. The battle between fire and water raged for months. Day and night the pumps roared, spewing a constant stream of seawater onto the lava flow. The air was thick with the roar of the volcano, the hiss of steam and the rumble of heavy machinery. It was a Herculean effort, a testament to human ingenuity and determination in the face of overwhelming odds. The firefighters, covered in ash and sweat, worked tirelessly, risking their lives to save their island home. Slowly, painstakingly, the tide began to turn. The relentless assault of seawater began to have its intended effect. The lava, once an unstoppable force, slowed its advance. The solidified rock created by the seawater acted like a dam, diverting the flow away from the harbor. The harbor, the lifeblood of Heimaey's economy, was saved. The eruption continued for several more months, but thanks to the courageous efforts of the islanders and their innovative use of seawater, the worst had been averted. The Battle of Heimaey stands as a testament to the power of human ingenuity in the face of natural disasters. It demonstrated that even in the face of seemingly insurmountable odds, creative thinking and determined action can make a difference. The lessons learned from Heimaey have had a lasting impact on volcanic disaster response around the world. The use of seawater to cool and divert lava flows has become an important tool in the arsenal of volcanologists, helping to protect lives and property from the destructive power of volcanoes. But perhaps the most important lesson from Heimaey is a reminder of both the awesome power of nature and the resilience of the human spirit. The Earth, in its immense and ancient power, will continue to shape and reshape our planet. And yet, as the people of Heimaey showed us, we are not powerless in the face of these forces. With courage, innovation, and a deep respect for the natural world, we can find ways to live in harmony with our planet, even amidst its most fiery displays.